This time around on Author's Corner, Toranj Irani joins us, and her book is one that will just get you right in the heart and in the gut. And I love what she's doing, which you'll find out throughout the course of this conversation. But the name of the book is Beyond the Face. As for my baby girl, rest in peace until we meet again would be a little bit of a subtitle there. Toranj, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Kate.
Let's talk about this book and why you decided you were going to tell the story, make it bigger, tell the story about what happened to your daughter and your family.
So Rovina was a student at Wichita State University. She was studying psychology. She was in her junior year. Rovina was spunky and funny, but very kind-hearted. And in 2016, she started dating a boy that she had been friends with for a long time, for 5 years. And once they started dating, Rovina came up to me within a month and said, I don't think I can date him anymore. He's kind of weird. And sure enough, after a month, she broke up. After they broke up, he did not give up on Rovina. He kept on bugging her on Facebook and social media. Then my son, Rishad, who was a police officer at that time, he had to intervene and tell him, back off. Rovina doesn't want to do anything with you. She doesn't want to date you anymore. But unfortunately, he didn't give up. And on Monday morning, when everybody was at work, Rovina went to university. He came to our house. He shot her and left. And after that, my family and I have been so devastated that, a young girl who was so full of life and had so much potential further in her life, this life was just taken away from her. But at the same time, I did not give up. I still got up. I still took care of my family. I took care of my husband and my son because they were absolutely in grief. Not that I was not in grief myself, but I knew that I had to be the pillar of strength for them. And my cousin Danny, who is a motivational speaker in Hong Kong, he used to call me every single weekend, and we used to have long conversations. He would teach me how to meditate. He would give me all these just ideas of how to cope with this grief. He made me do some exercises which helped me. He asked me to write a journal, keep a journal, write at least one word just to say thank you for whatever that whatever that you thanks for. And I just couldn't, for more than a month, I just couldn't write anything that I was thankful for. And slowly, I started writing 1 word and 2 words. And finally, Danny said, have you ever thought of writing a book? And I even laughed at him and I said, yeah, sure, writing a book. And he goes, no, I'm very serious, because not only that you have suffered with Rovina's loss, but you have suffered all throughout your life. I mean, you've been through so much, even before she passed away. As a young girl, being in school, I was having difficulties with studies. So, and in those days in Pakistan, nobody knew what ADHD was or what dyslexia was. And I was labeled as dumb or lazy or silly or just labeled in everything. And so from after that, then I finished my education, then got married. I suffered over there because my in-laws were harsh on me, and our culture was that, daughter-in-law kind of does everything in the house. So it was just one thing after the other, after the other, after the other. And my cousin was actually very surprised when I was talking to him one on one after Rowena passed away. And he said, we've been so close cousins, and I've actually never known the truth behind all this. I mean, you've always portrayed yourself as a happy-go-lucky, funny sense of humor kind of a cousin, but I've never really known the truth to what is happening behind the face. And that's why this title was given, because all my friends, if you ask them, they'll say, oh, she's funny, she has a sense of humor, she's, love being with her. But nobody knew exactly what I was going through. Even my own cousins or even my own very close friends did not know anything about what I was going through, whether it was in school life or marriage or after marriage. Nobody knew anything. So it was like a shock to everybody that like my whole story was actually portrayed out to everybody. And the whole reason why I listened to my cousin Danny, because he said there are many parents who have lost their children and in violence, and you are a big hope for them because you didn't give up. As many times as you have been, thrown under a bus, you have not given up. You have got up and again started, just going on with life.
And in the book, you talk about Rowena in such glowing terms, and it's so difficult, excruciating to lose a child. And your cousin was right. This is a book that can help so many people. And this story is about exactly how you titled it, Beyond the Face, your own struggles, things that happened to you that people didn't know about you. What would you want people to know about Rowena?
Rowena was a very down to earth, but at the same time, she wouldn't tolerate anybody's nonsense. When she was in her junior year, she started working at the Wichita Children's Home. And even I, as a mother, did not know much about what she was doing over there at Wichita Children's Home until I met the CEO, Debbie Kennedy, and she told me right at the hospital bed, she told me that I've never met a person like Rowena. And I laughed and I said, why do you say that? And she said, she's 22 years old. She's such a young girl, but she takes such good care of these girls. She's a mother hen to them. And all this time, when Rowena used to get her paycheck and I would ask her, what did you do with all the money? She would never tell me. I didn't know until Debbie Kennedy told me that she used to spend her own pocket money, her own salary to buy gifts for all these children, for these girls. She would take them shopping at Walmart. She would have the nails done. She would take them to have their hair done, all from her own money. And when I asked Rowena, what do you do with all this money? She wouldn't tell me. And the reason why she didn't tell me was because I always told my children, when you do something good, don't brag about it. You be quiet about it. And that's what she was exactly doing. She was quiet about it. She didn't tell anybody. She didn't even tell her own mother.
Wow. Wow. What a beautiful gift that you were given to find out that story. So there's another gift that really she's giving back, and through you as you scrambled to make this happen. Talk about the college endowment. I think that's so significant.
When Rowena passed away, a parent of mine from Wichita Montessori School, where I was working before we moved to Florida, she came up to me and she said, have you ever thought of starting a scholarship in Rowena's name? And I chuckled and I told Melissa, I'm a teacher. Where am I going to get that money for a scholarship? And she goes, no, let's talk to Wichita State University and maybe they can give us some ideas. So on January 11th, we met at Starbucks. We met Erin Winters and Amy Chuley. They were in charge of the foundation, and they gave us ideas to how to raise money for the scholarship. So in April, my son Rushad, he made a video of explaining what had happened to Rovina and that we wanted to start a scholarship. And he just put the video out, and people started giving donations like crazy. Within 2 weeks, I remember it was Mother's Day because we started it late April. And Mother's Day, my son and I were sitting in Panera, and there was a buzz on the phone, and he said, Mom, we got 10,000. So within 2 weeks, we raised 10,000. And within 2 years, we raised 40,000 for her psychology, Wichita State Psychology Department in her name.
What do you want people to take away from reading your book, Behind the Face, which you can get on Amazon or Barnes and Noble, by the way?
Please do not give up hope and just keep moving, because that's what your children want you to do. And even if you haven't lost a child, I mean, I know there are so many things which happen in our life. Just don't give up hope, because there's always a light at the end of the tunnel.
Ah, what a perfect place to end this. Toranj, thank you so much for sharing your story with all of our listeners and beyond.
Thank you so much, Kate, for having me.
Visit us at www.greatwritersmedia.com. Email us at info@greatwritersmedia.com or call us at +1 877 556